as we're getting ready, let's go ahead and make a big loop with our strap. So, and if it's hard for you to make a loop, give us a wave and somebody will come around. One of our assistants will dance over and help you with your strap. So make sure it's a cinched strap, which means you have to cinch the strap. This is, as I always say, this is the hardest part of any yoga class. So I always like to put it around my foot so it doesn't get all twisted. You have a long strap. I think let's get Martha a shorter strap. Martha's got like miles of strap there. Yeah, so let's do that. So we want the short strap. So remember with that, you've got this little slidey piece on your buckle. So it goes next to the fabric, and then it goes down, and then you should be able to pull it, and it shouldn't go. Now, Mike and Kay, you guys also have really long straps. Oh, they were in the long strap. These are actually the shorter straps, which are kind of nice. I mean, you guys can use the long straps. Okay, yours is okay. I think Mike's got one that's like 10 feet long. Let's give you a shorter strap. Let's give you a shorter strap. I know, it's what I do. All right, so anybody have an issue with strap? If you do, just put your hand in the air and somebody will come around and help you out. All right. Uh-oh. The wizard is dead. No, thank goodness. It just seems like it. No, we've done it already. Okay, go ahead and put your strap down by the side. So, all right, let's get ready. First of all, I want to welcome Martha back. She's been on the road with her art all over the place. Name like 3 places you've been in the last few months. Boston, Red Wing, and Kentucky. She's been all over the place. So you are doing amazing, wonderful things. How exciting. And she's highlighted in the newsletter this week. So check out the Mind Body Solutions newsletter and you'll find out a little more about what Martha's doing. So it's good to have you back home. Yeah. All right. Well, let's do some yoga. So let's go ahead and start out with some sitting, a little bit of sitting meditation here. So most of you are sitting on some height. So try and have yourself up on a little bit of height so that your knees aren't really, really high, but the hips are able to open just a little bit here. Go ahead and take the flesh of the buttocks and let's just draw it out to the side on each side. So your sitting bones are sitting right down on the height. So they're sitting right on your blanket and your bolster. So you really feel that connectedness in that base. And of course our legs to your capacity are crossed right about that midline of the tibia bone. And of course you can have your palms facing down or palms facing up, whatever feeds you today, whatever feels right for you today. And we'll sit for a few minutes, so feel free to just gently close your eyes or simply direct your gaze downward, whatever feels right for you this morning. And so we'll sit for a little bit. And so allowing the sound of the singing bowl to once again bring us into this space, helping us land here today. Lots going on, lots swirling around us, lots going on outside. But allow yourself to drop into this space, to give yourself the gift of our yoga practice for the next little while. And so as we begin this morning, check out where your body is today. We're sitting in simple cross-legged, feeling that sensation of the feet on the floor, maybe where your legs are touching, where your sitting bones are supported by the height. And then from that, let the spine gently rise, placing the head right on top of the shoulders so the sternum is lifted just a little bit and the shoulder blades are dropping down the back body, almost as if you're just unrolling a silk curtain down the back body. Breath comes softly here without manipulation. Simply begin to follow the breath. Again, not trying to change it, just noting it. Note where you feel it this morning. And as always, thoughts come and go. We reach for sound, we reach for conversations, we reach back and relive conversations. It's okay to note that. Simply note that and allow it to pass on through. Return back to the breath, back to the sitting position of the body. And now gently draw your sternum or your breastbone up toward your chin. Lengthen the back of the neck, just allowing the chin to drop forward, down toward the sternum just a bit. Almost like you are resting your brain on your heart in this position. And take a couple of breaths here, noticing how the breath changes, how that conduit changes a bit. And then bring your hands together, just gently placing the palms together at the base of the sternum. Thank your body. Honor what it took to get here this morning. Salute the goodness, the divinity within as we begin our practice. And then allow the hands to come back down to the thighs, palms facing up. Raise your head. And open your eyes. Okay. Go ahead and change the cross of your legs if you can comfortably do that. And go right back into that same sitting position, just with the legs crossed slightly differently. And let's just start to warm up the bodies a little bit as we get ready for some poses. So let's go ahead and take just a wide Vahastasana. So any amount, bringing the arms up. And then letting them come back down. We'll keep it very gentle on the shoulders, recognizing that we're not completely warmed up yet. So as you take those arms up into this wide Vahastasana, kind of let the spine follow you. So let the spine follow the arms today. And so there's almost a little bit of rocking forward and rocking back as we bring the arms up, almost as if the spine is following the arms this morning, and then bringing it back down. One more time, bringing it up here. Good. Now let's turn our palms, take a wide arc, touch everything in the room as you slowly bring the arms back down to the sides. Good. And then we're going to do that again, but this time let's keep our sitting bones set. So before we were bringing our arms up and we were letting everything come up with it. So now I want you to practice moving in two directions at once. So we're going to bring the arms up, except I want you to ground the sit bones as you bring the arms up this time. Little different movement than it was before. And then go ahead and let them come back down. So practice moving in two directions at once. Sit bones are grounding down as we inhale the arms up and then bring it on back down. Good, and then one more time. Inhaling the arms up, sitting bones down, moving up and down at the same time here. Are you breathing? Maybe. All right, make sure you're breathing, turning the palms out, and bring them on down. Beautiful. Good, and then just loosen it up a little bit. Just loosen it up. Everybody's serious this morning. So we've got a very serious, Kathy's laughing in the back because she can back there. All right, good. Let's take it into Dandasana. So taking it into staff pose here. Have your belt nearby, but you don't need to hold on to it right now, but just have that looped strap nearby. Let's start out just sitting in Dandasana. Legs are out in front of us, of course. Feet are active in this pose. And there's a temptation, of course, to kind of let the legs drop off to the side. So to your capacity, keep the legs active and the toes up toward the ceiling, pressing out through the heels. Let's go ahead and just start out with a traditional Dandasana with our fingers pointing forward and our elbows pointing back, using that steadiness of the legs to help lift the chest here, shoulders moving down the back. It's another temptation, as you know, in Dandasana to be wearing the shoulder earrings. And so make sure that those shoulders are down, chest is gently lifted, and legs are active here. Soft breath, make sure you're still breathing. Good, and release. Walk the legs out to the side just a little bit. So just bring them out to the side. And then give yourself a little bit of slack. You can lean back on your height. You can lean back on your block or wherever you can give yourself a little bit of slack here. And let's just start rolling one leg. So just giving yourself a little bit of love here as we start just warming up our hips this morning. So you can use your hand like I'm doing. I'm kind of doing it more with my leg, and my hand is just sort of guiding it. Whatever feels right for you. And then let's go to the other one. We'll just kind of keep working on that. And again, using your hand or not. There you go. Good. Same thing other side. A little bit of rolling. Susan, you can stay on or off the height, whichever you want to do. If you want to be off the height, that's fine. And then going back to the second one again. A little back and forth. There you go. Good. And then just lean back and let yourself do a little bit of both of them. So just allowing it. And see if you can let them be free. How you doing, Dancer Martha? Martha 1. Let's see those legs going. There you go. If anybody knows how to move her legs in this room, it's the Dancer Martha. Not that you're not a dancer, Martha. Not that you aren't a dancer, Martha. All right, and then a little bit of jiggle. Do a little bit of jiggle there. There you go. Good. Okay, so we're just warming those hips up a little bit, warming the legs, even shake out the shoulders a little bit. Get yourself doing the shimmy. Lori, are you doing the shimmy? Let's do the Lori shimmy. Everybody doing the Lori shimmy. Good. All right. Very good. Good. And let's go ahead and take one leg up. Doesn't make a difference. It can be right or left. Whatever's easiest one to get up. And then just doing a little bit back and forth here. Just warming it up and not pushing your hip into anything that's uncomfortable, but just allowing yourself to kind of play with where your hips are today. If you need to have a little bit more room, you can lean back a little bit. That's okay too. Just be kind to the hips as we start moving them around. And let's go ahead and just escort that one back down. Same thing other side, escorting that hip up or that leg up, and just planting the foot so it's not sliding on the floor, and just doing a little bit of rock and rolling. A little bit of rocking the hip, rocking the baby. There you go. And everybody's got their own pace. Some people like a quick rock, and some people want a little slower rock. Martha's got her slow flow rock going over there. She's doing what she needs. So take care of yourself. Find where your joints are at today, where you need to be today, and allow the body to follow that, or allow the body to lead that, maybe. All right. Very good. Good. Bring it back into Dandasana here. Go ahead and pick up your strap. And let's bend your knees. Put the bottoms of your feet together into a wide Badakanasana. So let's not worry about bringing the feet close, but let's keep it really wide and open now as we're beginning to slowly loosen those hips a little bit. So I'm just going to take my strap, which I've got, of course, in a big loop. I'm going to lasso my feet. So I'm going to put it over my toes so it comes out so it's underneath the outside portion of my feet, and then it comes up right across the front of the ankle. All right across the front of the ankle. So we'll have some folks walking around making sure that you get there. Sometimes it's kind of confusing when you're putting a strap underneath the feet. So it goes under the feet and then it comes out over the ankle. So you've got two reins, kind of like you're riding the buggy here. So take one hand in each rein. Gently draw the elbows down as you lift the chest. There you go. Jane, yes. Jane found her rein. So yes, finding that and allowing that to help you lift the chest here. So dropping down through your sitting bones, lifting the chest, shoulders moving down the back again. So watch out again for those shoulders that want to rise up, keeping the shoulders down, and just like you're riding the buggy. So soft breath here, soft belly. Begin to notice where you're holding tension. As we start going through some poses today, remember there's always an area that needs to be working, but often there's an area that also doesn't need to be working. And sometimes we've got everything working so hard, so we need to find where there are those moments of ease. So as you're here, see if you can soften through the abdominal region, allowing for some space in this region, even as you're maintaining the discipline of this pose. Soft breath, soft throat, soft belly here. Remember, this is one of the poses I would love to have you doing at home. Sit down. Put the bowl of popcorn here, watch TV, turn on your Netflix. It's an easy, good pose for you to do on a regular basis. It is, but it's also for the organs of digestion. So it's a great pose for just allowing for some extra motion in the hips. But when you think about what's going on here, you've got the organs of elimination, the organs of digestion, and we spend so much time like this. We spend so much time leaning forward that we forget it's a good idea to let all of that area open up. And so this is really kind of the antithesis to our normal posture. Clearly, you wouldn't want to sit like this all the time in public, and that's probably a good thing. But it's okay. It's okay to do. It's so comfortable, and it's a great position, and just to allow your breath to find a calm pace here. So a couple more breaths here. Good. And then slowly release. Go ahead and release your strap. Just set it down by your right side. All right, we're going to take it all the way down to the floor or to the mat if you're on the mat. Let's start out in Supta Padangustasana today. So we'll take it all the way. So you are on your back. You have a bolster by your right hip. And you've got your strap nearby. If you need something under the head, be sure and take it. So if you notice when you lie down that the head is dropping back, make sure you give yourself a little something under the head. However, I don't want so much under your head that your chin is tucked. We really want a neutral position of the head here. So really kind of have your forehead and your chin about level. All right, so if you're finding that that's not the case, give us a wave, and we'll help you do a little bit of movement there. Okay. Is that the right amount for your head, Christian? Does that feel good? That's about as much as you need. I wonder if it would be better to use blankets. I'm a little bit afraid that's going to turn and it's going to slide out from under you. So, Lori, what do you think? Why don't we build up blankets? So I feel like I want you to have something really a little more solid underneath the head. Mike, why are your legs crossed? Mike thinks he's going to just take a nap here. He's just going to hang it. Her legs aren't crossed. You shouldn't follow what your wife is doing. You need to be doing what your own thing. All right, legs should be uncrossed now. Thank you very much. Go ahead and just land here. So allow yourself really to just feel the sensation of landing on the floor, making sure you've got enough for your head, that your head isn't tilting back, isn't tilting forward, that you're feeling pretty supported here. So allow yourself to release into the floor here. Allow yourself to begin to feel the support of the floor and let the body release into the floor. We spend so much of our day holding ourselves up, worrying a little bit about every crack, maybe worrying that we'll slip or those stairs are difficult. So now allow yourself to really feel the safety of the floor. Let your breath be soft. But don't go into Shavasana, because I can see everybody's getting a little too comfortable now. So, all right, slowly begin to activate. So if your legs have dropped out to the side, go ahead and roll the legs into the center. So you're activating through the thighs. Press out through the heels and draw your toes up toward your face so you begin to become a little more active with the feet. And go ahead and grab your strap. So straps to the side. Yes, if you can't find it, we'll give you a hand there. All right, we're going to start with the right leg. So let's go ahead and start with both knees bent. So bend your knees, put your feet flat on the mat. Okay, as you are ready, take that right knee to the chest and go ahead and put your foot in the strap. So loop that strap around the ball mound, not the arch, but the ball mound of the right foot. You've got one side of the strap in each hand, and as you're ready, slowly begin to straighten that right leg toward the ceiling. One side of the strap in each hand. The arms are reaching toward the foot. So the arms are pulling back, but they're actually reaching toward the foot, and there's a space in between the hands. Little bit of space. If it works to have the palms facing each other, have them, and if that doesn't work, that's okay too. All right, once you're in that position, if you comfortably can, go ahead and slowly begin to straighten the bottom leg. Sir, I'm going to have you just give David a little bit of support underneath his heel, okay? All right, so you've got one foot pressing up toward the ceiling. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit, Katie. There we go. And let's bring your leg down so you can straighten the knee. There you go, good. And then you've got that down leg straight to your capacity. If it bothers the back to have the down leg straight, then keep the down leg bent. Otherwise, I want you to pay attention today to what's really going on to this down leg. All right, I want that to feel like you're actually standing on it, as if you were standing in this position and pressing down through that down leg. It's your standing leg. So really press out powerfully through that bottom heel, but also press up powerfully through the up heel. Draw your shoulders back a little bit, but maintain that hold on the strap. And notice where you're holding tension in this pose. We have a tendency in this pose to hold a lot of tension around the jaw, around the face, around the mouth. So to your capacity, let that release just a little bit. Nice soft breath here. And then go ahead, bend the knee and release the strap. And just go back to your position with 2 knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. All right. Land there. Best 2 words in yoga, rest there. Wait there. Okay, same thing other side. So left foot. So same thing, we're going to loop that strap around the left ball mount. Knowing, of course, that the left leg may be very different from the right leg. So being kind to the body as you are looping that strap around the ball mount, pressing that foot up toward the ceiling. Both hands moving up toward the foot, hanging on to the strap. Not the Vulcan death grip with the strap, though. If you can avoid that, please. There's a tendency to want to wrap the strap around your hands so you don't have to work quite so hard. So if you can, just have the strap in your hands. Little bit of space in between there, shoulders moving down. If you can comfortably slide that other leg down, go ahead at this point. Making that leg very powerful in this pose, using that as a point of reference and as a point of stability in that pose. Are you gritting your teeth? I say yes. Yes. No, I'm not. Yes. So soften the inside of the mouth, soften the throat, even soften the eyes. Notice where you hold tension in this pose. And we really tend to hold a lot of it in our face in this pose. So one more breath here. And then slowly bend the knee, release the strap, and go ahead and rest there. And you can rest with the legs down straight or with the legs bent and the feet on the floor, whichever one feels good for you right now. Just take a few breaths there. Obi's taking a bath, I know. We haven't had 2 dogs in class for a while. I'm feeling like we're coming home. This is such a good feeling. Has Obi ever been here? He has been here because he was at our other place mostly. Yeah, I think so. Okay, same thing. This time we're going to take it out to the side. So let's go back to the right foot. So we're going to take the strap, loop it around the ball mound of the right foot. You can have that left leg bent as we go into this. All right, so we're in the ball mound of the, I'm on the left. Ball mound of the right foot. One side of the strap in each hand. So let's go ahead and start there. We'll get on the same page there. Pressing that heel right toward the ceiling to your capacity. If you need a little support, one of the assistants will come around. As you're able, go ahead and slide that other leg down. So slide your left leg down straight. Okay, now everybody should have a bolster by the right side. If they don't, we'll come around and make sure you've got a bolster by your right hip. Go ahead and hand both sides of the strap to the right hand. You're going to take that left hand and bring it out to the side, palm facing up. You've got that bolster on the right by the right hip. We'll inhale, and as we exhale, slowly start to bring that right leg out to the side. And bring it to the point where you can land on that bolster for support. So it should be pretty close. Mike, I'm going to bring yours in just a little bit. So we really want to bring that in so it really supports the hip. How's that? Yeah, so I'm almost coming around and I'm putting the bolster almost a little diagonally for some of you so it hangs onto the mat. Otherwise it tends to slide out from you. Okay, in this position, both legs are very powerfully active. That left hand is out the side. It's a bit of a counterweight. Notice the tendency of the body to want to roll toward that side that's out, toward the side that's out to the side. So activate that what we would call the standing leg or that down leg. Notice where your breath has gone at this point. Notice the softness in your face or the lack thereof, and soften the face here. Few gentle breaths here. And then slowly inhale, bring the leg back to the center. All the way back to the center. Good. And then bend the knee and release the strap. Oh, yeah, a good sigh is okay. Sighs, grunts, those are all allowed. That's perfectly fine. And then rest there, either legs straight or bent for a couple breaths. And then we're going to take the bolsters and we'll bring them over to the other side. So if you need a hand bringing that bolster over to the left side, make sure that you give us a wave. Unless you have a dog. If you have a dog, then you don't have to have the bolster. The dog acts as a bolster. That's what we need. We need more dogs. We should have a whole bunch of bolster dogs. My dog's kind of a bolster dog. All right. So same thing, other side. This time, of course, we're going to take the strap, loop it around the ball mound of the left foot. We'll bring that right up in the air. Again, taking into account that one side may be very different than the other. All right. Hanging on to two sides of the strap. And you might have that knee bent. You might have that other knee straight at this point. It's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to bring that leg back down and it's comfortable to have that straight, that's fine. Go ahead and hand both sides of the strap to the left hand, and the right hand goes out to the side as a bit of a counter position. Inhale here, and as you exhale, slowly begin to descend that left leg out to the side. Again, let's make sure that we've got, yep, that's it, Jane. Make sure we've got those bolsters very close to you. Oh, and the other Jane, let's get yours in just a little bit. There we go. Does that feel like you're getting support from it? Okay, good. Nice, Christian. Looks good. Good. Make sure that that leg off to the side is as active as the down leg. Finding your breath there. Good. Susan's got the wall. That's brilliant. That works well. Good. And then on your next breath, inhale that leg back to the center. Be in the center, then bend the knee and release the strap and allow yourself to rest there. So legs again can be bent or straight, whatever you're most comfortable with here. And just let yourself land. That's a vigorous pose. Vigorous pose. But wait. There's more, as always. Not Shavasana yet. All right, so let's take our bolsters, put them on the other side. Go ahead and put your strap off to the side for now. We don't need the straps at this point. So put those off to the side. Take our bolsters, put them back to the right side. Okay, we're going to take a tree pose. First, we're going to take the tree pose lying down. And then we're going to take the tree pose standing up. But I want us to work on the basics of tree pose while we're lying down. And then we'll take it up if you want. Otherwise, you can take it a second time lying down. So it's up to you. So we're going to start out kind of building the basics of tree pose. So as you're lying in this position, I want you to just gently activate your legs so they're not dropping out to the side. So you have just enough discipline in the legs that the kneecaps are pointing toward the ceiling and the toes are pointing up to the ceiling. Not a lot. Don't work too hard here. But as you're lying here, I want you to take your fingertips and I want you to find those front points of your hips. Those are your ribs, Mike. There you go. Finding the hips. I thought you were looking for your hips. Down here. It's one of those I won't go there. Okay. Anyway, so you've got the front points of your hips, and these are actually part of our pelvis. We call them the anterior superior iliac spine, and you don't need to remember that, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to call them the hip points for today. But one of the things that happens when we do tree pose is often we let our leg go way off to the side, and the hip points don't stay forward. So today we're going to work on trying to keep those relatively forward. They're going to move a little bit because we're going to move our leg and we're going to move our pelvis, but we don't want our whole body to drift off to the side when we go into a tree pose. So just keeping your fingertips on those off and on as we're doing this today will help us cue kind of where we want our pelvis to be in this pose. Okay, so that sort of kind of makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and move our right leg first in tree pose, and you can decide where you want to put that leg. So you can put it down by your ankle. You can put it up on your calf. You can put it way up on your thigh if you want. So decide where you're going to do. So that right leg is going to bend. And then it'll roll out to the side, keeping those hip points mostly forward, and decide where you're going to put that. So it goes against the side of your leg. It doesn't need to cross over. So Mike, let's go ahead and just put it on the side. And what I want you to do is I want you to use that bolster on the side of you for your leg to be supported on. Because when you take that bolster away, what tends to happen is everything drops. So for a second, go ahead and push the bolster away and notice what happens if we pull this away and everything just sort of starts to roll that way. And so I want you to feel that sensation in this position of everything staying relatively in alignment. Relatively, and of course everything moves and we all have different bodies and that's perfectly fine, but relatively in alignment as you do this pose. So now we've got our hips about where we want them, and you can keep your hands there if that feels good, or you can put your hands down by your sides or on your ribs or wherever you want. But now I want you to draw attention to the standing leg. So we've got our right leg off to the side, and we've got our left leg. And for some of us, the left leg has already started to take a vacation and roll out to the side. But that can't happen, of course, when we're standing on the leg. So very firmly activate that standing leg, in this case, your left leg. And what I want you to do is I want you to extend all the way down the outside of that leg, and then extend all the way down the inside of that leg, as if they were two separate legs. And keeping that activity in the leg, I want you to press your leg into your foot and your foot into your leg. And activate all the way out through that heel. And we may come around and give you a little bit of reference on the bottom of the heel, just like we were the floor, because you're really going to be putting pressure through the floor. So you're in this structure, or the skeleton of a tree pose right now. Press out as if you're pressing through the floor with your foot. And as we would do in tree pose, we're going to grow that tree. If you're comfortable doing so, inhale and bring the arms over the head. But even as you're bringing the arms over the head, I want you pushing out through that heel. So once again, you're growing. You're moving in two directions at once. That's one of the things that makes tree pose so beautiful. It's not only the growing up, but the rootedness that you feel in this pose. And when we take it to standing, that's going to become more obvious how important it is to maintain the activity in that standing leg, the pressure of the foot on the leg and the leg on the foot, the activity out on the outside corridor and the inside corridor of that leg. And then we grow from there. So one more good breath here. And then slowly bring the arms down. And bring that leg back to the center, and then just go ahead and straighten it out and be in the center. Does that kind of make sense? Kind of, sort of? Yeah, okay. All right. Good. So be in the center for a few breaths. All right, same thing other side. So let's move the bolsters over to the other side. Mike's at the ready. He's got the hands on the hip points. He's got it going on. All right, so bolsters on the other side. Dog remains on the right side though, or on the correct side. Find those hip points again. And we'll go through it a little quicker this time because we kind of know where we're going. So first of all, just take a Tadasana lying down. So find your standing mountain pose, or your supine mountain pose in this case. Find those hip points, making sure that everything is reasonably in line. Good. And this time, of course, we're going to move that left leg. So you're going to decide if it's going to go, just unweighted a little bit, or if it's going to go up to the calf, or maybe it'll go up to the thigh. Let's not put it right across the knee, though, okay? Let's not put any more pressure on our knees than we need to, okay? Feel the sensation of the movement of the pelvis when you bring that leg up, and that's perfectly normal. We're supposed to have some movement there, but then we're going to make sure that we've got those bolsters in as far as we can so that everything stays relatively aligned. You've got that support on the outside of the left leg. And now you need to fire up that standing leg again. So what is your right leg doing this time? Your standing leg. So again, lengthen down the outer corridor of that leg. Lengthen down the inner corridor of that leg. Activate through the feet as if you are standing on that foot. Good. Press the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. As you do that, you may even feel a little bit of lift in the chest, and that'll become more pronounced when we take this standing. But begin to listen at a deeper level to what's going on in this pose. And then once you've got that pose set and you're pressing out through that standing leg, inhale, and let's go ahead and take the arms over the head any amount. Growing again in two directions at once, making sure that you're rooting down through the foot and then growing up through the pose. So everything gets bigger in space here. Nice breath here. And then slowly release. Let the arms come down, let the legs come down, and be in the center. If it helps to take a knee to a chest or anything at this point, we've been pretty much in one line, so feel free to move the knees a little bit. If it feels good to bring the knees to the chest, feel free to do that too, or even just rocking and rolling them a little bit as you work your way out of this pose. All right, so now you can make the decision if you would like to take it standing. So we're going to now move this pose up into standing. You can decide to remain on the floor if you'd rather. Otherwise, if you'd like to take this pose standing, now is the time to get up or giddy up, but either one of the two. There you go. And we're going to move to the wall. Yes, yeah. I want everybody at one of the two walls on the side, please. No, we're going to go without the mats. I think we'll be okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so find your way to one of the walls. Mm-hmm. But not where the dog is. Yep. There you go. Don't step on the puppies. We got the dogs going on today. And we're all going to start, why don't we all start with our right shoulder facing the wall. So everybody's going to be facing a little bit. And don't be right next to the wall. Remember how a couple weeks ago we had our elbow on the wall and our foot. So you're probably a good, the top part of your arm's length away from the wall. So we'll start there. So you're feeling like you've got some support of the wall. Good. So let's start out in Tadasana. If you need to hold onto the wall for support, please do. If you can take your arms down by your sides for Tadasana, let's start there. Remember, we always talk about Tadasana as kind of a coming home pose. So allowing yourself to feel the symmetry of this pose before we go into anything else. All right, so standing in Tadasana, remind yourself where those hip points are. Okay, so in Tadasana, things are pretty much facing forward. Now, this will be more pronounced when we're standing, that when we put that leg and drop it out, how everything wants to turn toward the wall. But to your capacity, don't worry so much about letting the leg drop way open. Keep yourself relatively aligned as we do this. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shift our weight to that left foot. Don't worry about picking that right leg up at this point, but shift your weight to the left foot. Now notice when you do that, how you can kind of sink into that hip. So lift out of your hip as you're shifting that weight to the left foot. So it's very, very powerfully active. Remember how we talked about extending along the outside and the inside of that standing leg. So that left leg is very active. Now begin to unweight the right foot. Make sure you're hanging onto the wall. Unweight that right foot any amount. And remember, you can lift the foot up and place it on your calf or your thigh, or you can simply come to your toes. And the other thing is you can keep both feet flat down with only a slight weight shift toward the left. And that is a perfectly acceptable tree pose too. Now notice when you're in this pose that hip wants to open up. So keep the hip points pointing, pretty much forward. That one's going to go back a little bit, and that's fine. Activate through that standing leg. Push down, especially through the heel of the standing leg. Press the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot, and feel that little bit of chest lift that comes with that. And if you're feeling very comfortable and very safe here, go ahead and take your left arm and bring it out to the side. Good. And if you wish to go a little further, you can take that arm over the head. And only if you're very, very comfortable, you can take the arm that's on the wall and start to creep that up the wall, or keep it right there for balance. But play a little bit with tree pose. Play a little bit as long as you've got the wall there for support. Make sure you're lifting through the sternum and descending down through that standing leg. Find your breath here. You're waving in the wind, and I like that. There can be a little bit of waving in the wind too. One more breath here, and then with grace and finesse, bring the arms down and bring the leg down, and be grateful you only have two legs. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice. Come back to Tadasana and feel the solidness of Tadasana while you're here. Feel how good it feels to be in the center. And then let's go ahead and turn it around and take it the other way. So this time, your left shoulder's near the wall. All right, hips are pointing pretty much forward. So as we begin here, you have your left hand on the wall. Go ahead and shift your weight over toward the right foot, over the right leg. Lift up out of that hip. So you're lifting high into that while maintaining the groundedness of that foot. As you are ready, begin to unweight the other foot. Unweight that left foot any amount. And remember, just simply shifting your weight could be enough for you today. But if you'd like to bring the foot up on your calf or up on your thigh, you certainly can. Make sure that you're still breathing through all of this. Extend along the outer corridor of the standing leg. Extend down along the inner corridor. Press the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot, and feel that lift in the chest that comes with the solidness of this base. And then if you're comfortable doing so, that right arm can come out to the side. And only finally, if you're comfortable doing so, you can keep bringing it up, growing that tree. Remember, we're moving in 2 directions at once with this. And if you're feeling very, very safe, you're welcome to crawl that other hand up the wall and hang on or not, but making sure. Yeah, it's kind of fun to play with that a little bit. Fixing your gaze on a point in front of you is a wonderful way to help keep your balance in this pose. Of course, I didn't tell you that till the end, sorry. One more breath here, and then slowly lowering the arms, slowly lowering the leg, and feeling the safety of the earth and the ground again. Yes, that was kind of fun. Was that kind of fun? Yes. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Let's bring it back to back to our mats. And let's see, we've got a few minutes. So I think I'll show you where we're going to go from here. I'm going to take a quick Supta Bandha. You keep your mats right where they are. I'm only turning it so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take a short bridge pose. So I have 2 blankets that are standard fold, and I'm going to put them on my mat. I'm going to sit down toward the far edge of one of them with my knees bent. Slowly lower myself down here until my shoulders come off the blanket. So notice that my torso is supported by the blanket, but my shoulders actually are off, and I don't have anything under my head. So we'll go without anything under our head, except for a few people in here, and we'll help you with that. My arms are out to the side, and I'm going to take my shoulders and I'm going to roll them under, rolling one and then rolling the other to bring that sternum up just a little bit. And we'll start right here. So this is where we'll be. So let's see if we can work our way into that. For some of us, this isn't an appropriate pose, so I will probably have you flat. I think we'll have David go flat in this one. And Christian, I've not seen you in Supta Bandha before. I'm thinking we should have you go flat today because we aren't going to be here very long, okay? Yeah. So shoulders are off, and actually most of us will go without anything under our head. So I think I'm going to take that out. Okay, let's see how that goes. Is that okay? Yeah, I think we're going to keep you. We won't be here too long, but we want to make sure that we maintain that nice inward cervical curve of this. She needs to go further. She needs to come further. And actually, you know what? With what's going on with Martha's eyes, I'm going to have Martha go flat today. Okay, so leave her here and let's just put something underneath her head. Yeah, I'm going to keep Martha there because I want to protect her eyes today. All right, so you should have your knees bent and your feet flat on the mat. So Kathy, bend your knees. Knees bent, feet flat on the mat here. For most of you, and you know, and some of you we've done some different things with, for most of you, we will have the shoulders on the mat, the torso supported by the blankets here. So we're in a little bit of a gentle opening of the chest, little bit of a Supta Bandha pose here. Good. Now from here, if it feels comfortable, take your right leg and bring it so your thigh is vertical and your knee is pointing toward the ceiling. Your thigh is vertical and your knee is pointing toward the ceiling, and you can hang on to it if you need to. And then you're going to straighten that knee right up in the air. We'll do an ekapada. So we're going to bring that leg straight up in the air as much as you comfortably can. And we'll give you a little support if you need. Let's give David a little support here. Soften the throat as you're doing this. And if you're comfortable, let's keep our knees bent today with this. We'll keep them bent. Good, and then bend the knee And release slowly back down so it's next to the other foot. And then same thing on the other side. So take that left leg, bring it up so the leg is, or the big thigh bone is vertical. The knee is pointing straight up, and then slowly begin to extend that knee up into an ekapada. Notice how everything kind of rolls toward the chest as you do that. So keep that gentle lift in the chest, the shoulders rolling under, softness in the throat, softness in the face as you do this pose. Breathing here. And then slowly bend the knee and bring it back down to where you were and rest there. Good. Let's try it one more time. So we'll go back to the right leg. So lifting that right leg and extending that knee, straightening that knee, pressing that heel up toward the ceiling. Pressing down with that foot that's in the floor. Opening that chest, soft throat, soft inside of the mouth as you're doing this here. One more breath. And then slowly release. And then take the other side one more time. So left leg up, pressing up into an ekapada, one foot moving up toward the ceiling in your Setu Bandha. Breathing there. And then bend the knees and let that knee come down. Good. For those who are in the Setu Bandha on the blankets, I'm going to have you bridge up just a little bit, and we're going to slide those blankets out from underneath you. So we'll come by, you can bridge up just a hair, and then let yourself down slowly so you land all the way back down on the floor. Martha, we'll leave you right where you are because we didn't have you in a Setu Bandha. So everybody should have a pretty flat, everybody should be flat on the floor now. Good. All right. Go ahead and take your right knee and just gently bring it up towards your chest. You can hang on the front of the shin, or I kind of like to hang on underneath my knee in the knee crease sometime. And just go ahead and once again go back to where we started. Just kind of rolling that hip around. Just being nice to it. So using your hands or a belt to hang on to the knee. Whatever's easiest. Yeah, it's a good idea, Christian. There you go. Good. And just kind of playing the whole range of motion there. And then go ahead and set that leg down. And then let's go to the other side. So bringing the left side up. And again, doing a little rolling. It's harder to do when you're standing, I know. Everybody's rolling. We got the assistants rolling. Everybody's rolling. At this point, everybody should be rolling. And just take that, any amount, whatever's comfortable, letting that hip feel that openness. And then release that leg. And if you're comfortable bringing both knees to the chest, you can bring both knees to the chest and then just let yourself kind of rock it and roll it, either in circles, around, or back and forth, whatever feels good for you at this point as we begin to wind down. Jane, you want to get the lights? Thank you. And so making it slow and easy as we gradually transition out of that. And so letting the legs come down, letting the feet be on the mat, the knees bent. Take a couple breaths there. And then as you're ready, let's go ahead and set up for Shavasana. So you can simply straighten the legs out and take a little head support, or if you need a chair or anything, let us know and we'll come around and help you get set up for Shavasana. If you'd like an eye bag, put your hand in the air, and Jane has got them. Christian would like one too, Jane. Christian would like one too. All right. Make sure that you've got a little something to support your head. Most of us need a little bit of something. Mike, let's give you a little bit of something to support your head here. Is it? Oh, no. Yeah, it looked like you were favoring that today. Do you want a blanket rolled up under there? That looks I'm thinking too. I'm thinking the black is going to be too hard. Rough shoulder day, huh? Okay, let's see what that. How's that? There's a smile. Okay. All right. What about the other side? You're looking a little kitty wampus. Can we put a little under it so you don't feel quite so uneven? You're welcome. There you go. Happiness comes. Good. All right. All right. So if you're wearing glasses, now is the time to take your glasses off. And if you need any other support, please give us a wave and we'll come. Got to get the socks on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, any final adjusting. And then once you've done that, allow yourself to really be in Shavasana. Letting go of the effort of the class and acknowledging it first. You know, we did some hard work today. And then letting that go as you begin to soften into this pose. Recognizing Shavasana is a quiet state of alertness. Letting the body begin to soften as you release the skin of the forehead down toward the bridge of the nose. Softening the cheeks and the lips. The inner ear and the inner mouth. Softening the throat and allowing that skin all the way along the neck from behind the ear out toward the tip of the shoulder to release. The body continues releasing along the course of the arm, from the shoulder, down through the elbow, and out through the wrists and hands. The torso rests, recognizing the sensation of support, the solidness of the floor and the earth below. And the body continues to soften through the hips and the knees and the ankles and feet. Slowly begin the process now of coming out of Shavasana. Maybe slightly longer inhalation, slightly longer exhalation. If you're wearing an eye bag, slide that off slowly and possibly blinking your eyes open as you begin to let the light back in. And then as you're ready, rolling to one side and taking a breath or two there, making that a pose. Jane, do you want to help? Thank you. And then as you're ready, slowly coming up into any comfortable seated position, or if it's easier for you to stay lying down right now, that's fine. Feel free to stay lying down until after class. And then let's bring our hands back together where we started. Hands pressing gently into one another at the base of the sternum. As always, ending our practice with gratitude for this practice, for this community. Namaste. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on your notifications.